Welcome back to the Initiative Reviews. Today we shall be covering Netflix, the original series Yasuke. But first, if you can follow us on our social media at Afro Anime Initiative on Instagram and on Facebook. And Facebook, we have a Facebook page and a group. Join them both. And follow us at Afro underscore AI on Twitter and right here on YouTube. And while you're on YouTube, hit like, share, subscribe, comment, do all those cool YouTube things to help the channel grow. I'm your host, Darren Bradley, along with today, Paulina GP. Say what's up to the people.
Hi everyone, I hope you all are safe and not being dumb.
What's going on? And our third co-host today here, Marvette. Marvette, say what's up to the people.
What up, y'all? Miss me?
So for sure they said no.
Well, I missed you. I missed you.
Thank you, Polly. Thank you.
Welcome.
Look at the lies. See, like already starting reviews off with lies.
Sir.
And what we're gonna do
trying to be an
as we begin, and I'm not instigating nothing.
Yes,
I'm just telling the truth about what the people are saying. I have the people here. I'll be on social media with them. I talk to them. I do, Hey, I'm just letting you know how the people feel. All it is. All it is.
He lied. He hating.
Wish I was. I wish some other people would do some stuff. But what we're gonna do is kick off before we break down the synopsis.
Take over to his house, just kick his ass and come back.
Oh my God.
See all the lies happening. We ain't even into the review yet. Before we even get to the breakdown of Yasuke, the Netflix original series, let's horn and get everybody's general feeling, and then we'll break down story elements, individual stuff we like, and give you more details about it. Let's kick it off with Marvette. Marvette, how are we feeling about the Netflix original series Yasuke? What are your thoughts? Just general.
Amazing art style. I love the soundtrack.
Nice.
Do you want to hear the butt?
Ooh. No. We'll do the butts once we drop into the bigger details. And I guess you're great. So we like the animation and the soundtrack. Cool. P. How you feeling about Yasuke?
Same here. The music is fantastic. I love Flying Lotus. I just need to get more into his stuff. And the animation is actually wonderful. That's it.
Okay. All right. I am straight up middle of the road anime. This is it feel like there's really cool elements, animation great, the voice acting cool, the music Flying Lotus great. I won't even say great. It was cool. It's just like there's some stuff missing here, and I think we can break that down once we get into the review. But let's tell everybody about Sasuke what it is. Yasuke, man, is the tale of the Black Samurai of Japan, the most famous Black Samurai of Japan, because for a while he's the only one anybody knew about. He was a samurai for the great Nobunaga Oda, one of the great unifiers of the Japanese culture and people. And this is the tale of him after war and tragedy, and just some really cool elements. And let's start off with some of those cool elements, or maybe not so cool elements, by the way everybody's talking about. The show opens up with the battle of, and I knew I was going to do it as soon as we started. I forgot the castle, whatever. A great war outside of, depicted from Japanese history, but it was told with magic, mechs, and a whole bunch of stuff that just wasn't real. And honestly, it was okay. But I would do the first but. Sorry, Marv, I would do the first but. But it took away from me from the story of Yasuke and some of the stuff that we know about history. Oh, so that was the but.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this for all the cool things we got here. Some of the story elements that were picked took away from my enjoyment. I think that's why I think this is a middle of the road. Anime. So you know what? So I'm gonna go from that. But P, what are some things you didn't like about Yasuke? Let's go backwards in rotation. P, what was your butts about Yasuke?
Oh, where do I begin? Well,
anywhere, sister, pick a line.
Good. My first butt is the mech. I remember when we first heard about the show, they mentioned that there's going to be mech, in it, and I thought that's not necessary because this is literally feudal Japan. Like, I get it if they infused it as daily life, not just in battle or anything like that. So I held my tongue. I'm like, okay, let me wait and see what's going on. Then they showed the mech part, and it was just literally like two big machines during the war. You fast forward, like it goes back and forth too. The story goes back and forth, flashbacks and current whatever is going on, and you don't see that much mech. Like, no reason for it. It's completely unnecessary. Completely
Yeah,
unnecessary.
there's
Even
one throwaway line to explain mechs, and they talk about from a region in Japan that actually is known for innovation,
right.
but it's like, yeah, that's where we got it from. Wait, what? How did they get it? Huh?
Exactly.
Like, what's the story
What?
behind it? Exactly. So you have like
Right.
that one character, that one mech character, I think Haruto is his name, and I just didn't see the purpose of his existence in the show. I just didn't.
Comedy relief, just
Just
unnecessary
unnecessary comedy
relief.
relief,
Yeah.
exactly. Unnecessary comedy relief, and I was so disappointed because it's not that I had my hopes up. It just was out of, just no, it was out of place. The magical realism, okay, fine, I get it. It's feudal Japan. Plus, I watched Inuyasha and a whole bunch of other stuff that included that type of thing. I was used to it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. They didn't do a bad job on that aspect, but aside from the whole unnecessary mech thing, my other butt is the pacing. How it's obviously a big deal. You have a child with magical powers able to, I guess, either level the entire world or save it. And the first thing that pissed me off about it was that, okay, she had uncontrollable, like, she wasn't able to control her powers. She was sick, and then all of a sudden, halfway into the story, she was able to all of a sudden control her powers. Like, wait, what? Before she even gets to the school or the doctor they were trying to get to. So there's that. Plus, you have the big bad, which I'm sorry, the way they built up the story to the point where they meet the big bad was so, like, maybe the first first 3.5 episodes, the pacing wasn't too bad. But then from episode onwards, like episode 4 onwards, it was just I forgot half of it. I'll be honest, I forgot half of it because what was the purpose of it going so quickly like that? I'm expecting maybe a season 2.
Right.
I don't know what I don't know
Right.
I don't know what they're doing with that now. Now it's like I
Murph,
personally
Look, I
let's
deserve a
get some
season. I
stuff of
deserve a
Murph.
season 2 for them to explain this shit to me.
Yes.
I deserve a season 2.
Thank you.
Right.
Because
Let's get some.
again,
Let's
where
get
the robot come from? Who did you
Right.
fight?
Right.
right.
What is his name? Matu Sahide. How did he turn bad and evil? Where the fuck did Damio came in from? And all of these things, and I'm just like, hold on, what's going on? And then where does Bear Woman come from? I get it, the elements, the mutants, and all that, but just Abraham, the priest, giving me that one line didn't make sense to me.
hate him.
I needed more than that.
I hated him.
All right, here we go. So what we're gonna do now? We got that out the way. Break down story elements. Let's tell the story.
Right.
We begin off, like I said, the story of Sasuke with a battle of Japan, with the last battle of Nobunaga Oda, again the unifier of Japan, or one of the great unifiers of Japan. And this battle technically does historically take place where one of his allies turns against him and ambushes him. It's the fall of a temple where he was in as they were heading off to a battle. Historically, Nobunaga does kill himself, and he commits seppuku, and he has one of his retainers cut off his head. Historically, we don't know if it's Yasuke who does it. We just know it happens. What we do know for historical reasons that Yasuke is the one who takes his head, so his enemies can't use it to prop up as them being the new rulers of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
In this, we got Yasuke sitting here, Nobunaga being drunk, which also is kind of historically accurate. The dude kind of got a little weird towards the end of his life.
Mm-hmm.
We got Yasuke being hesitant. Now, according to what we know about the real man, ain't no hesitation. This dude was a true samurai. He did what he's supposed to do, like he had to do. Wasn't no hesitation. It wasn't no emotions or love in it. It was like, nah, this is my job. This is what I got to do. They showed a lot of weird, extra like emotional feelings for him in that scene. And this is the opening scene of the thing. And it's just like, that's okay. Cool. The next thing we got is him waking up, because again, it's a flashback. We in the present day. He's drunk, disheveled, got the long locks, beard covering his whole face, and he's a boatsman in this small little quaint little village where he's just trying to live his life. The wars are over. The daimyo, the person that betrayed, or should I say, conquered Japan after Nobunaga, um, is ruling the country with iron fist and rule, and the armies and soldiers running around messing up stuff. And Yasuke is just trying to be a fisherman, a boatsman, take carrying people up a river, trying to live his life drunken. And right off the bat, this is when I get the middle of the road anime feeling. So I'm like, oh, all the anime tropes, flashbacks. We jumping around. The leader is the main hero is drunk, hiding himself. The neighborhood kids love him for some weird reason, even though he's a weird drunk. Oh boy. And then we get introduced to what you might think is the damsel in distress, but it's the pretty Asian lady singing a song and her sick white child. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
What? Huh? Feudal Japan? What? Why? Huh? The church? Huh? The elements start coming in, but we begin to see cracks in the foundation of what should have been something really fun and cool. Because, like I said, now we get the mysticism. You get the mysticism at the beginning of the battle. Like I said, they do try their best to set up in a short flashback the nature of this universe. We have mechs. So, in other words, you got heavy machinery. We have mysticism. There's magic. There is chi energy. There is demons. There, setting up the world. But there's no explanations that, hey, look, cool things happening. You don't know why. We get the pretty Asian lady. Hey, my daughter's sick. I need your help. The normal Ronin, which is a samurai without a master, saying no. And then him turning it down, and somebody saying he ain't got no honor, and him like, you don't know nothing, walking away. Oh boy. And again, we barely through the first half of the first episode. And it's just every single stereotype and trope from old anime you could think of popping up. And before we get done with the episode, then we're introduced to a band of evil mercenaries who also have magic. One of them's a mech. One of them's a transforming bear lady from Russia. Why are you from Russia? And then we get all the black jokes. You black? And there's another African warrior with the group. There's another black person in Japan. Oh, is he your cousin? Really? We doing that. We doing does every black person know each other joke? Cool. Then they try to be clever by then just saying the word black in a different language. Oh, international racism. Awesome.
Even when he was first introduced, but in the flashback, they asked his name. He gave his full birth name, and they were just looking at him like, "Wait, what? What language is he speaking?"
Oh, when we get to the second that's the third flashback. Oh, I'm sorry. I was still in the first episode. Okay, we're gonna get to it. But that's the ending of the first episode is the young Asian woman with the white girl and Yasuke eventually reneging on, I'm just staying out of trouble. No, I'm help. They said I ain't got no honor. Screw it, I'm help. Well, they get ambushed, they get attacked, they get messed up. They show Yasuke and the Asian girl both are good warriors, which means they both been lying, they both been having secrets. But then as they attack, the mercenaries led by the Russian transforming bear woman, they hurt the mother, take out Yasuke and get to the girl, but the girl uses her powers. Again, no explanation. What are these powers? We saw glimpses of this stuff in the battle scene flashback. Blows everybody up. And then we left with, again, wandering samurai trying to figure what the hell else going on. I'm talking about, it's like they went through every anime trope from the 1980s in 5 seconds. 5 seconds. But yes, that leads into, as Paulina was saying, all the other flashbacks where we get to see who he is and how he gets to work with Nobunaga. And P, since you brought it up first, go ahead, cover that flashback and check.
Wait. You okay?
Okay, you want to? I was trying to keep it together. No, see, the question has been asked. No, I'm not. I was trying to keep it together, trying to keep it structured because again, there is a story here, and it's not a bad story, but there is a story here. The story is so filled with tropes, and honestly, so the
Breathe.
so
Breathe.
Breathe.
Get your words
Please.
together.
it's one thing it's one thing. One thing I'm breathing, y'all. Thank you.
Cool.
There's one thing that's so inaccurate that took me out of everything. So let's go back to the flashback where he meets Nobunaga. He's working for I believe this is I got Swedish. I don't think it's Swedish though, but the way the accent was in the anime couldn't tell. But a Swedish merchant.
Dutch.
Yasuke, that's who he's working for.
Just say Dutch.
And
they're all the same.
Dutch. Okay. a Dutch merchant. And Yasuke's working for him as a servant, a slave. And this Japanese dude picking on the kid, the Yasuke steps up, say, "Yo, you don't mess with kids." We get the African proverb of one village. We get the whole thing behind it. Yo, everybody protects the children in the village. All this good stuff. Good, nice, traditional, historically accurate stuff. And then you get Nobunaga sees him and like, oh man, that was so cool what you just did. But a man should be clean who has such honor. So they do the washing. Hey, wash him. The dirt doesn't come off his skin because it's not dirt. He's a beautiful ebony man. So they all like, oh, is you like this? I was born this way. Everybody from where I'm from is born this way. They know about other countries during this time. They have seen other people, other foreigners. Foreigners aren't new in Japan at this time. And it is true that Nobunaga did wash him because he couldn't believe it. But it was just the way everybody else was acting. It was just strange to me and historically inaccurate. Like y'all know y'all know about Africa. Y'all know its existence.
Mm-hmm.
It was off. It's just little things like that was off. And then they had this whole thing about Nobunaga getting him and training him and making him a samurai. And one of his main generals, whose name in the stupid anime I keep forgetting, henchman. Literally, he's henchman. He's a henchman, and he's just like you're a servant. And in the old way, a servant is nothing but a servant. A servant never can be anything else. And Nobunaga is messing with tradition, which again historically is absolutely true. Nobunaga did mess with tradition. He elevated normal peasants into warriors, into fighters, into samurai, because samurai was going around just fucking stuff up in Japan. Mm-hmm. They just weren't. But here's the thing that really started to take me out of the anime. So the overarching story is he's a servant who became a samurai, who becomes a hero. Like, that's the thing. They on some gladiator stuff, the slave that became a man, the divided emperor, blah, blah, blah. We have no historical evidence that Yasuke was ever a slave. He was a bodyguard, a paid bodyguard to walk a preacher, and yes, I believe it was a Dutch preacher around Japan. But this anime, and I mean every 10 seconds, slave, you're a servant. You should have always been a servant. Slave, yes, you're a slave. Servant, you're a slave. No, not even close. And in Japan, in this era, especially the era of samurai, being a loyal servant was the most highest honor. You serve your daimyo. You serve the shogunate. It was my honor to die and serve for you. They make the word servant such a dirty word.
Yeah.
And you feel like that just don't feel right. And again, being that this is directed by a Black person, executive produced Black person, of course, the main voice cast is of a Black person. What the fuck were y'all thinking? And then you might think of, but in the overarching story, but he overcomes it. He's not a slave anymore. He's not a servant, but he never was in the first place. And being a servant in Japanese culture is not a dirty thing. But for this story of this black man, y'all emphasize that more than just him being a black dude that learned their language because they couldn't learn here, they couldn't pronounce his African name. He learned their language, rose the rank up into their great emperor. Again, Nobunaga was the real thing, a real G. Instead of emphasizing that, every 10 seconds, somebody, you're a servant. You ain't a real samurai. You ain't nothing. Nobunaga is breaking tradition. You're terrible. You're not a servant. You're not a samurai. But that's what samurais are. They are servants. It was actually frowned upon if you were a samurai without a master. But damn, does that take away from the enjoyment of this anime? I'm gonna stop talking. You know what? P. Anything you would like to say about?
So Darren's rant hour was brought to you in part by
I wish we would sponsor because now I want to curse so bad.
Listen, you pretty much said everything that I wanted to say. That was the one thing that I definitely noticed, the number one, like the most, that they just kept emphasizing that. I don't know. Like they just kept emphasizing that, like, he's a servant, he's low, he's nothing, he's garbage, he's this, he's beneath them. Always, always, always. Like in every episode, it's emphasized. Every episode. And it bothered me because it's like, isn't that the wrong thing to emphasize on in this current climate right now? Don't we need a break from that? First of all, number two, like Darren said, it's historically inaccurate. Horrifically inaccurate, actually. I mean, why? Like, I already see enough of that. I've already seen enough of that. So that part really, really bothered me the absolute most. Like I said, the pacing was just off. It was bad. It was just bad. Voice acting was meh. Some things just didn't make sense to me. There was no point to it. Like there's an African shaman. What is he doing? What is he doing in Japan? Too. Like
it's a Russian dude in Japan.
Right. What is she doing there too?
Like, but during this time, there is historical evidence of foreigners being in Japan.
Right. Exactly.
But
but that's the thing. That's the thing, though. That's the thing. Yes, there are foreigners there, but why are they consistently questioning Yasuke? Of all people.
That's it. That's the thing. Right? So y'all ain't supposed to be there. Why are you shocked that there's a black man there?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You're walking with a black man in your group.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you shocked there's another? I thought you were the only black man there. And dude, like, and look, and I like how they had the shaman, the black dude in the mercenary group, like, yo, shut up.
You
sound real stupid right now.
That was the only thing, though.
The only thing that, like, that whole scene, and I'm just like, wasn't that entire scene where they were by the boat in the water before the fight? Are we still in feudal era Japan?
No.
Because when he said, even okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like, when he said, why is he speaking Japanese? And then he looked at him like, a black man is speaking Japanese and reciting African proverbs. And I'm looking at him like, okay, you're in Japan too, but you don't understand Japanese? What the F is wrong with all of y'all? Where y'all came from? What's your storyline?
Exactly. How'd you get there?
Hello. Like, this man lived here for, a long time. So, yeah, he learned their language. He learned their ways, but that didn't make him stop his ways, his learnings, his tradition. Even with the shaman, the choga, he's like, when the robot is speaking and when Nikita kept freaking saying Shirney, 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 bitch was calling him black the whole time. And I'm just like, what the fuck is Shirney? I looked it up. You just calling him black.
Just say black. Again, the term technically not invented yet, but okay.
Like, we gonna be technical.
They had other words. Anyway,
Shit.
sorry. Go ahead. I mean to interrupt y'all.
I no, just like a lot of it. Okay, they came with a priest. Great, wonderful. That priest is a whole other fucking
Oh
story
my
too.
god.
Pause.
The priest.
Pause. Again,
Fucking
another
hated him.
stupid ass trope we thought was dead in anime.
Oh my
So
god.
we gotta have the mysterious church. It's
Here
the
we
church.
go.
And
The
the evil church
The church
leader.
is doing something. Oh, another church leader. And this is what took me out of this show, like completely almost. No, that's not. No, I think it did take me out of the show completely. That's why I couldn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. So the preacher, they capture Yasuke. Again, it's only halfway through the series, guys. A lot happens in 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
They capture him. They beating him up. They're like, "You gonna tell us where the girl is?" The preacher comes out with some brass knuckles that say "Damo Dexteria." Dame Dexteria. I'm sorry, my Latin is rusty. And you know what that means?
What does it mean?
Right hand of God.
Yes.
Yep.
Didn't he say that it's, what is it? Like, literally, he said that God controls the next movement he does. He
Yes.
literally just says
So-
that. And I'm like, really? Really?
Brass knuckles. I'm talking about straight up 1980. We out here rumbling in the Bronx brass knuckles with
Yep.
that Latin phrase, dominate dex. No, I almost had it. Anyway, but right handed God. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's dope. So he beating him up. But then the preacher, like, you know what? Nah, I got to do some more. And some vines started growing out of his hands, and he started electrocuting Yasuke. The shaman over in the corner, the preachers a mutate? When the fuck does universe get mutants?
Yep.
What are you talking about? Why are you shocked? I have already seen magic and talking robots. Why you should be shocked by mutants? But you didn't explain the difference. What's the difference between somebody with magical powers, a robot, your shaman magic from mysticism, and a mutant? They never. They never.
No.
So why should I be shocked? The preacher's a mutant, and he said it with such vigor. I'm like, okay. Are there not mutants in this universe? Okay. Well, we can be shocked that there are mutants in this universe. Okay. And then again, we bring in the preacher. It's conspiracy, the church. Yes, the church must have him. She stole him from me and brought me here from our land because we're white. So it must be the Christian church. But then we turn around and find out, but the Dame, who was complete Japanese spider demon, by the way. Thank you for that. We really needed more spider demons. The Japanese spider demon. What the fuck are you doing working with the Christian church? What? It's feudal Japan.
Yeah.
And the fact that the way they introduced this preacher, I believe his name was Abraham. Like,
Yep.
just you look at him and you're like, oh, he's a baddie. He's a bad one. He's a bad character. Because his face.
He's getting answers out of people at the fucking cemetery in the graveyard.
Right. Snapping necks, beating them up with brass knuckles, like, yes, like it was a 1980 street rumble. Then turning into a mutant and electrifying them. Like, what?
The storyline was all over the place.
It was
all over the place.
Just too
all
over the place.
It was so overwhelming.
And my biggest problem, and again, sorry, I think we're all over the place. We're so mad at this show. My problem is again the big bad, the lead up to it. This character fell far too quickly for my liking. Way too quickly. Like, how is it that? This story literally started 20 years prior because it's flashbacks between 20 years. 20 years. Okay? So how are you going to undo 20 years of all of this corruption that has taken over the land in under how many days?
Gee, I can't even remember.
Right, I don't even know. Maybe a week. Maybe a week.
Right, no. They said it. It takes 2 days to get to the city with the doctor by river. So, about a week over by land. So, right, a week to get there. Plus, train and fight. Yeah, a week.
And barely any training too, though. Like, I saw no training, none at all whatsoever. But this little girl all of a sudden has control of her powers.
It was a motivational speech.
Right, it was.
Yeah.
You have to do this. You're our only hope. All right. Wait, what? That's
And
all
then
that
her powers healed
Yeah.
him at the end. That threw me off too.
Yes.
You, oh,
Yes.
no, okay.
Like
No.
her powers do
I
anything.
knew that was gonna happen.
anything.
I knew that was gonna happen. That was such.
I was like,
such a
wait a
trope.
minute.
I knew they
We
were
never-
gonna put that in there. Sorry.
Never seen one time, her control her powers or control them well enough where she can combine them with somebody else. But we have her and Yasuke at the final battle against the demon Damu talking about combine together. You and me will do it. Okay. Before you turn around, he got some magic space armor. He's flying in the air, going toe to toe with the giant 18,000 foot demon. I'm like, but when did she learn how to do that? When I don't. There was no training. There wasn't even a training monologue. Like we never saw anything.
I'd rather.
But then we get the part that got me when I literally fought the whole series trying to fight this thought. She's the great white hope.
Damn.
And I was like, fuck this shit. I'm done. She's the great white hope. She's the
Who
most
was
powerful.
saved by the black man.
Right. The great white hope, the most powerful one that we have been waiting on to save us the prophecy. Why? Yeah, it's Japan, which I need a white person for. And the black dude that got to defend and protect her, the black dude that Japan been talking shit about. And which we find out later on that the reason the general betrayed Obunaga because he was cool with the black dude. Y'all don't get the fuck out of here. If y'all get the fuck out of here.
This is why I need a season 2. Because this was some bullshit. I mean,
But what are they gonna do for season 2 though?
I
That's
need
the
to
thing.
know. I need Yasuke's whole story. I need to know who captured and tortured him and why he got captured and what he did was what's his name? Nobunaga's head. I need to know when he got to Japan, how he got to Japan. All of these things. I need to know.
Okay, let's pop off with that real quick. No, let's do that. Let's add some more reasons, like even if you don't know the story, why this shit is off. Okay, so there's a 20-year gap between the fall of Nobunaga and what we get with Yasuke, where his story picks up from. Literally, that 20 years after the fall of Nobunaga, that's when we actually don't know what happens to the real Yasuke. That's when historically he leaves history. Because again, the master that he was serving falls. Servants usually disappear after that. But we know he gets captured by the enemy eventually, after trying to help Nobunaga's son, which again, they give a throwaway line in this show about that happened. Again, some historical accuracy. So, why y'all didn't just do a story about that?
Exactly.
Do a story about that. How did he get away? How does he survive? How does this one black man, even though again that's not true, there were other black people in Japan at the time, he was just famous because his master was the most famous person. But why, how, and why did nobody come looking for you? And then how are people like, oh, it was him? If there's not that many famous black samurai, how does nobody know that this one is there? And they just assume he's just another wandering person. If it's such a big deal as a black person in Japan, there's a giant disconnect there. Everybody in that village should have been like, yeah, you know that's the dude that used to ride with Nobunaga. Yeah, okay, cool. Right? No, everybody's like, oh, you're a warrior? Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is that not even obvious? But okay.
Exactly.
Never
And
mind.
I want to like,
What
how
secrets
is,
do you have? Like, really? What secrets does he have? Are you dumb or are you dumb? I think you're dumb. I never liked the little girl. I'll just say that.
No.
Saki?
I never liked her.
I don't want
ass.
to like.
No. She's stupid.
How did
She's annoying.
Ashiko's related to Nutsamari? I'm pronouncing names like crazy today. They're from the same family because of the pendant they were wearing.
No.
No, they're not related. I don't think
they might have been from they might have been from the same tribe, but if they are, that tribe should be dead because
that's
again,
what I'm saying. How did they
out.
get to Ashika?
Right. I'm about to get there. Without specifically saying that they were from the same tribe, without trying to make that connect, they could actually be related. That, this could be a descendant or whatever, a niece, something. We just supposed to look at that pendant and make an emotional connection to it, like Yasuke does. But Yasuke has the emotional connection to it. An emotional connection that's not really explained because the women that he used to know in the past that has it was a traitor in Nobunaga who he turned on, killed, by the way. But we never knew that they were in love. We never knew that they had feelings for each other. We just knew that they talked a lot. That was it.
That too,
But at the end,
yeah.
Right. We're supposed to think that he fell in love with her the day he killed her? Huh?
I just thought they were close friends. That's all.
That's what I thought the whole way through.
When the sword went in, it was a whole other story.
Right.
That wasn't even there.
Bruh, trying to add that innuendo and add in sex and violence, cut that shit is so 1996. Cut that shit off. Sex and violence, the sword penetrating is not a sexual act, bruh. Stop it. That's old dumb shit again.
What?
Bad anime tropes.
Oh my god.
Look how he stood over her.
Yeah.
And then when you get then when you get to the dream sequence when she comes back to save the girl to show him to break the spell, look how he's leaning over her. Look at the position.
Yeah.
Straight up staring.
Yeah.
Even though in the battle he flipped her over and they weren't in this very position when he killed her. Huh?
This is a headache, y'all.
As we were saying, it's things like that where they try to force an emotional connection for the viewer without really giving one for the character. They just talked. But we're supposed to see like they were in love and there was such a deep emotional connection, so much so that he killed her without hesitation. What? Okay. Because then the after credit scene, there's an after credit scene, because you gotta have after credit scene, where he goes to her grave and her brother's there, who happens to be the little boy he has saved in the fight that got Nobunaga's attention. And you were there when she died. That means you know how she died. She died fighting for her tribe with honor. So that means the little boy's a traitor too. Huh? Kill him. He's a traitor to your former master. It doesn't make any sense.
But Darren, remember, he gave up that life. That doesn't matter to him anymore.
But even with that though, but the little boy should have survived in the first place. If they found out she was a traitor, they found out she was a traitor. He killed her. He had to explain to Nobunaga that he killed her. And if he didn't explain to Nobunaga why he killed her, that should have been told. No, I never told what really happened. It was on the battlefield, and I told him that she died. Because again, she was also a trusted lieutenant of Nobunaga.
The only female.
So it's just like, yo, story beats like that, they matter. You can't just say, just a piece we just ain't gonna talk about, but we gonna do a whole after credit scene about it. All right. Cool.
Flashbacks was incomplete.
Oy.
Oh God.
They told no story at all.
I was just trying to put bits and pieces together, but it's not making any sense. That's why I need a season 2, damn it.
But what are they gonna talk about?
Better writing. Better fucking writing.
What would it be about though?
The actual samurai.
Again, we know what we're gonna do. No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow another 90s and 2000s early anime trope. We're gonna have to redo this whole season again.
Yep.
And we're gonna have to call it Yasuke Brotherhood Alchemist Redux Exelon 7.
In the show.
And just redo the show. And just redo this shit all over again. But longer, with more runtime, more story, fill in the fucking blanks. And look, guess what? There won't be no mechs in this one though.
Actual voice actors.
Hmm.
Hell
Look,
yeah.
Because
voice
I
acting.
enjoyed it better in Japanese than in English. Just saying.
I when I flipped over because we talked about the mercenaries, the four mercenaries. I actually like those characters. They brought variety to the show. They spiced it up a little bit. They brought a little bit of humor in it too. But then when you get into it and listen to them in Japanese or English, they didn't have nothing to say
Mm-hmm.
except for, "Oh, you black?
Yeah.
Oh, you black old man?" They kept calling him old man. Let us know he's old because he's old. Black don't crack. They're like, "Oh, you old man." I'm like, so in Japanese and in English, probably the four most interesting characters still didn't have anything to say. Absolutely nothing. But of course, this anime knows they're the four most interesting characters. So after their business with the priest is done because the little girl gets enough control of her powers to murder a man, then all of a sudden she don't know how to use them no more. Whatever. Um, they
Apparently,
like,
the
okay,
priest dying with
oh,
the cross.
right. Well, that was cool. Killing the priest with a cross, the evil priest with a cross. That was cool. But you know, the mercenaries, well, it's over with. The contract's done. The priest dead. We out of here.
Mm-hmm.
The girl has an idea at the final battle. The final battle, they get their butts whooped. They go to the doctor. They do all the travels. They get to the doctor. Yasuke gets there, kills a bunch of people. Blah blah blah. I'm sorry, y'all. That's what happens. It's blah blah blah. Literally. Um, they get there to the temple. They get to the doctor. The doctor, I remember you, Yasuke. I can't believe you survived everything. How did you survive? I hid in this village. You telling me that a great warrior from one of Nobunaga's other generals, and they didn't come looking for your ass? Okay. Um. Anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
he's here in the village trying to train him because there must be a revolt. We must rebel. The Damu must be stopped. So y'all didn't think to go look for Yasuke either. Y'all didn't get no reports he was dead. Y'all knew he was a great warrior. You knew he still, would have followed in the footsteps to defend the honor of Nobunaga. Y'all didn't go look for him. Black man in Japan, y'all didn't get, hey, have y'all seen a black person? Y'all didn't think to do that? No? Okay. Anyway, but he's training a whole group of these powerful children because he also had the power. He used it as a warrior. We saw him use it in the first um scene to take down one of the giant mechs. Because they call him the doctor because he was so surgical with his powers. Okay. We literally only see him do one cool thing. Um, oh boy, getting a headache again. So anyway, but see, he tells the story. Yes, the power is in her, and she's what we've been looking for. They all bow down to the little white girl. We're gonna train her. Well, too late. The Damu has already sent her dark army to come get him. So y'all didn't get no chance to train him. But somehow she's still y'all great hope. Nobody just said, hey, we go fight this battle. I take her to the side, we train her. Nope. Because the Damu was using her power to attack the girl. She collapsed on the floor again. She collapses a lot. I mean, a lot. This is only episode 5 I'm talking about right now. It's 6 episodes. This girl falls down so much.
Yeah.
But this is the messed up part. But you forget there's an entire action sequence where she's fighting 2 of the mercenaries who kicked Yasuke in her mother's butt, by the way, 2 trained fighters. With her magical powers, she's using her powers so well to get away from them. Then 10 minutes later, I use my powers. Wait, what? What now? But you just fought off you just flew through the village on some Mulan live action crap. Like what? What? No. 10
That
minutes
came
later,
out of
triple up.
nowhere.
Oh, how to use my powers? On the ground. Just,
She needs to recharge.
man.
For like 2 minutes.
It's stuff like that. It's on it. The thing. It's and if it. Oh, I can't talk. If it wasn't for all the anime I watched before, again, before we got better anime, before people put more effort into writing and making logical stories and explaining the universe and where source of energy and power comes from and what are the bad guys and who are the real good guys and just more the story, This feels back like a throwback to the bad times. And it shouldn't because there are such good things here. Again, the music is dope. It kind of reminds me of a Samurai Shampoo type of feel. It just wasn't quite there, but it was some good musical choices. You have beautiful animation. Don't get me wrong. People fighting with their superpowers and the mysticism and the giant robots and stuff looks cool. It's just like looking cool is just doesn't cut it no more. They have to be a story. It just has to. Um the depiction of the landscape or the land of Japanese Japan is beautiful now, it's beautiful back then. The landscape, gorgeous, the village stuff, gorgeous. Just when they just show Japanese life. It was cool. But it's wrapped around with a story that doesn't make any sense. All right. Anybody knows me? I'm sorry. I hope I'm not babbling, but I'm an X-Men fan. I love X-Men, mutants, Marvel comics, all that good stuff. Jean Grey, Phoenix, Astral Plane, Shadow King, Professor X. I hope they call a lot of people up, and if it didn't, I'm finna explain to you in a second. There's just a moment in here where they say she's on the astral plane. That's where the Damu is attacking her. I will go into the astral plane and I will save her. Then they fight on the astral plane, and then afterwards, for 10 minutes, they explain what the astral plane is. We, but y'all could have just said that's just the source of where the power comes from. It's psychic energy. People know what the word psychic means, but y'all just, this is why this is happening. Now let's do it for 30 minutes. Huh? That's bad storytelling. It's bad writing. It's bad. And I break it down to the last review we did last week of Mortal Kombat. There's some cheesy, stupid, illogical stuff in Mortal Kombat, but it's enjoyable because it's fun and they explain it, and then they kind of make fun of it while they're explaining it. No, they take this shit dead serious in this anime, and they want you to too. But then it's like, but I don't know what I'm supposed to be taking serious. Because then you turn around and have the giant mechanized robot man, who we don't know if he's an actual robot or a man inside the robot, but he did start cracking jokes. But not jokes about the stuff that y'all just kind of halfway didn't explain, just random jokes about being a robot. But if robots are natural in this world, where's the joke? Is it biased against robots? Are we being racist towards robots in this world? Please explain. Please.
Robots have feelings. Because when his friends got shot with the arrow, he's like, friend? Friend? I'm like, what the fuck? The nervous breakdown? What's going on?
Because again, we saw robots in the earlier battle getting murdered and slaughtered. We didn't hear them scream or yell or nothing. They just shut down. Right? Do robots have feelings? Do they emit emotion? Or is it just this one robot? Is he special? Is he broken? And that's why he feels feelings. Little things like that. None of that's in here. That's just shit I just made up right now.
I need answers. Like now. Too many questions. Like, who gonna answer them? I bet you the writer doesn't even know.
I can't. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish with this. I know they're trying to bring out Yasuke. I know there was talks of a live action with Chadwick Boseman before he passed away. I know I said Bowman, whatever. I can't talk. Chadwick. I know there were talks of another animated series, but like just more kid friendly. I know there are rumors of just more things about this period of Japan because there are more documentaries coming out about it, just the unification of Japan, the history of feudal Japan and samurai times. But it's like, if you're going to do something like this and use the black man as the main character or the point of view character, have a point. What was the point? And again, you over exaggerate servitude and whether servitude is good or not. But then you don't explain what is so bad about being a servant because there isn't anything, especially during this time period, about being a servant. Farmers were looked on as the lesser, even though they made all your food. But that's the class system of Japan at the time. It wasn't just being a servant made you bad. You were a servant. It was honorable, especially to be a warrior. But because he black, he got to be a slave, which again, no historical evidence that he was ever a slave. Somebody else take over. I'm gonna take a break because I don't.
They needed to do their homework. They really did. Whether it's on, Yasuke, on the Japanese culture, on the samurai culture, their homework was just incomplete or they didn't even care about it. Great, you're giving me a black samurai, but where is the black samurai in this story? You're giving me bits and pieces that didn't connect at all. Great, he loves a woman. Wonderful. When? How? Where? And then how did the general turn evil and become a demon? Did he leave him on the battlefield? If a samurai gets captured by people, will he be the only samurai that got captured? And then the other one is casually saying it in like a 3-line. Oh yeah, you got captured and then you escaped and then we thought you were dead. Wait, what? You didn't, look for him? This is I don't even know what to say it anymore. I was looking for a black samurai story. I didn't get any of it. Except that he was a shirty. Thank you, Nikita. You taught me a word that I didn't need to be taught. So, okay. Was Abraham just going around the world collecting mutants? Or was he making them? Because I'm still trying to figure out where the mutant came from.
That's a question. Yeah, that's another question. Anything about that one? Oh, boy. Yeah.
If he was one himself, why he needed to get them? And if the girl wasn't fully powerful yet, and how come he didn't know about the others that the doctor had?
Again, because we know there are other people that got powers like her. She just happens to be the most powerful. Why ain't going after nobody else? Where the rest of the kids at? So that means you got a whole bunch of kids too then. Why you ain't bring them motherfuckers on with you? It's, oh my God.
Because she was with him, and then Ashika took her and escaped the church.
So that means there are more.
Exactly. So I'm just like, dang, hold on. It's too much. Like, let me rub my head. Okay, I need answers again. Who gonna answer me?
It's like, did the budget get cut? Do we have any, we gotta do some extra research, guys. I wish we could have did it before this, but it just came out the past Thursday since our recording. We watched it and we wanted to talk about it.
They wrote the story and they took out a few pages.
That's what I'm trying to see. Like, did they lose some budget? So they had to cut things down. Because that's what it looks like.
How many pages did you rip off?
Hold on. I think P's trying to say something. P, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. No, I saw you flashing, but I couldn't hear you.
No,
I thought maybe you had blinked out on it.
I was yawning.
Okay.
All I can say is this is a terrible show. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I've clocked out.
Gotcha. Cause like I said, we should bring it. The more we talk about, the more questions we have. It just
Hey, I'm about to DM the writer. Like, excuse me, I need you to help me understand me and everybody to watch this show.
Like, for real, I want to hit up Lakeith Stanfield because he is the voice of Yasuke. I want to hit him up and be like, bruh, real talk. Did y'all budget get cut down like halfway through this when everybody realized that a lot of the stuff that was supposed to come out about this wasn't happening because of the pandemic? Does this show suffer from pandemic? Is this why this feels so undone?
Now, I bet you telling their voice. It was no emotions behind that voice. And I'm like, it's a samurai. The voice is supposed to carry so much.
Yeah. Another thing, samurai were emotional people. They like to yell when they was fighting. They like to have sex and drink. They were warriors. It's just like, and they That took all that away from him because he's sad because his master's dead. Yeah, you should be. That was 20 years ago. What else have you been doing?
Like
And then he
something
was
that.
sad anyway. They made him
Mhm.
all nice monotone and all.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm just
Even the
here.
celebratory thing that they did for Yasuke was so quiet, and I'm like, no, that's not how they celebrate.
That's not how they celebrate.
There's
No.
no women in this victory. What's going on? No
Exactly.
dancers, no music.
Like they never show him be happy until he saves the little white girl. And it's just like, all right, cool. Even during the good times of his life, when he was a trusted advisor of Nobunaga, they don't show him smiling. Like, what?
He's a stoic black man. What did you expect?
Thank you. That's the trope I was looking for. Thank you, Pete. We don't need that trope in here. He doesn't have to be the stoic black man. He was a black man in Japan, being a samurai, cutting people up. He doesn't have to be stoic. He can have a personality. Why does he not have a personality? And why is everybody else's personality recognizing that he is black? What?
It's like the only thing that they just recognize from him. He's not capable of anything else. And this little white girl threw a tantrum when he said that he wasn't going to help her. I'm like, I wanted to reach into the TV and slap her so badly. I'm telling you guys, I do not like this child. I just don't.
Yeah, it's bad character. Okay. I know we've been jumping around. Don't worry, the anime is too, so you'll be right along with us when you watch it. So there's a part, again, a very good scene where he explains to her why he can't help her. Do you know where we're going? No. Do you know who the doctor is? No. Do you know what he looks like? No. How can I help you? The next episode, the doctor's name is blah, 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 blah. I thought you didn't know nothing. Does your powers give you knowledge? Never explain that. How did she suddenly learn something when 10 minutes ago she didn't know nothing? But that one key bit of information to jog to Yasuke's memory to make him realize he recognizes that name, then to know exactly where they need to go to find the help that they need. But literally the episode before, I don't know nothing. My mama didn't tell me nothing. You literally go from logic, perfectly understandable. Hey, how are you supposed to help you? You don't know where you're going. To I know all this information. Now you better help me because I got powers and I can control them for the next 5 minutes. What the fuck? So yeah, what I'm gonna say is if you like to get zooted on that sticky icky, because I don't want YouTube to demonetize us, you would enjoy this because the animation is beautiful, very fluid. Has a very, like I said, good art style from Studio Mappa. I hope I'm saying it right, Mappa. They did a really good job on the animation, and you can at least tell all the characters apart from each other. That was done very well. And like I said, the magic does look cool. The robots look cool. The scenery looks gorgeous. But yeah, sober. I don't know how you supposed to enjoy this. I really don't. It's just so much mess around what could be a really good story. Because again, historically, he becomes a legend. He becomes a myth because again, he rose up in the ranks of the unifier of Japan. Like he is a real person. And we don't know how he did it, what he did, and what happened after. There's a real story in there. None of that was shown with this stuff. P, your final words on Netflix original series, Yasuke.
All I want is a series or a show or a movie with a black lead about a black character that isn't bad. Because we always talk about, and this is a constant conversation, like how we got to support our own no matter how bad the material is. At this point, people are going to stop supporting no matter what because it's not good. We need good material starring black characters. Enough of this. And enough of putting together a story without even doing the research. I am interested to know how the hell he became a legend. Certainly not this. Certainly not this. So, like I said, y'all, drinking game, just all the crappy tropes that show up if y'all decide to watch this show after our hour-long rant. Just set up a drinking game and you should be solid. You should be able to enjoy yourself. Otherwise, do not watch this sober. You can watch it. Actually, no, you can watch this high because the opening theme is pretty psychedelic. I'm gonna just say that, but that's it. That's all I got. I'm done. I was so disappointed.
Marvette, your last words on Netflix original series. Yasuke.
I wish I'd seen more of Usibos Ibrahimo Balio story, known as Yasuke.
You're the only person who could probably say that name correctly. Good job.
Then this 6, 7, 8 page of whatever writing they decided to put together. Because honestly, it's at the end of the day, it's just meh. That's it.
Gotcha. I'm gonna say I appreciate Marvette and Paulina taking the hit with me for everybody else. We watched this sober for you, so you don't have to. But honestly, I'm gonna say this, and I hope I don't regret saying it. Tell you the truth, I probably don't. I really don't regret anything I ever said. This was a straight up tokenism grab. Let's tell a black story about a man in Japan. It's not gonna be good, but hey, look, guys, we just told a story about a black man, but it was bad. So no, thank you. The fuck out of here. Just because you put a black person in there, or tell a black story, but then you have to add a whole bunch of extra stuff on it because you don't want to just tell the real story, which is already fascinating in of itself. I'm not going to be appreciative for that. That is straight up tokenism. That is straight up pandering. Fuck you. See, after just coming off of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where they actually address some of this stuff and do it real well and don't sugarcoat it, and I'm supposed to, just be happy with y'all tokenism? Nah, we straight. It's the middle of the road anime. If you a old school anime fan like me, you will recognize all the tropes and you might even enjoy them. It might make you relive your childhood. And then you're going to realize, oh, crap, anime was really bad for a while there. Yes, it was. You ain't got to watch this one sober. And that's it for us. And I think that's it for the Initiative Reviews today. Once again, we're glad you joined us. And if you can, follow us on our social media, Afro Anime Initiative on Instagram and Facebook. And we have a Facebook page and group. Join them both. And follow us at Afro_AI on Twitter and right here on YouTube. Hit like, share, comment, and subscribe. Help the channel grow so we can take more hits for you guys and review crappy stuff so you don't have to watch it. We love you. Be safe out there. Peace.